Welcome to the Career Refresh Podcast. I'm your host, Jill Griffin. I'm a former media and marketing executive turned career strategist and executive coach. I spent my career working my way up and through the ranks of global organizations and startups, and today I show others how to do the same. Join me each week as we discuss the strategies and actionable steps to leverage your strengths, increase your confidence, and develop your career well-being. Ready? Let's do it. Hey there. Thanks for joining me today. This podcast is called Refresh Your Career, and I want to start off by talking about mindset and basically what I mean by mindset. Mindset isn't always about putting a positive spin on something or trying to force ourselves to believe something we aren't ready to believe. Because you know what happens when you force yourself to believe something that you aren't ready to believe? Nothing. Because you don't believe it. Okay, let me take a step back. Mindset is a collection of thoughts and beliefs that you hold true and repeat often. Your mindset shapes who you are and the results that you achieve. And so much of my work with clients is about the management of their minds. It's really about reviewing and rethinking everything we know and believe. Your thoughts about you, about your career, your life, all of those thoughts create your reality. And this is not just about positive affirmations, although sometimes for some people those can work. But in order to create lasting change, you have to make small steps with your thoughts. And when you do so repeatedly over time, you're able to create new mindset. A positive mindset comes from thinking purposefully and practicing new beliefs. It starts when we get up in the morning and think about our day, thinking about what may happen ahead of time, what do we want to accomplish, how do we want to approach a particular conversation or meeting. It's constantly thinking on purpose. It is not letting our brain just wander down a dark hallway without supervision. And it's also understanding that when we really get curious about what we're thinking, we can change our mindset over time. And today, I find that this is pretty hard in this instant gratification culture because everybody wants it now. But I've learned that there's no shortcut. And what I like to say is that the shortcut is actually doing the work. And you know, it's funny to me that we were never taught in school tools on how to change our thoughts or manage our mind. At least it was never spoken about where I went to school. And I think, gosh, if I had known years ago that my thoughts weren't true and that I could change my thoughts, I would have saved a couple of days over my lifetime instead of obsessing over certain thoughts. And I definitely would have had less moments processing them in bathroom stalls. So when I think about what I see people who want to change fast, they get super frustrated when they can't change their situation. And they're coming from a place of like, I don't want to feel this way anymore. They tend to get all into action, right? They have a thought, I don't want to feel this way anymore. They kind of feel a little bit crummy or stressed. And then they get into action by setting out resumes. They may be updating their LinkedIn profile. They might make networking appointments or dates. They're searching job boards. And they feel bad about themselves because then nothing is changing and they think they're stuck. They want to figure it out really fast or they want to fix it. But you can't change a thought problem with an action. I'm going to say that again. You can't change a thought problem with an action. What I see is that people feel like they need to change the scenery, that will make their situation better. But they don't realize that if they don't clean up their thinking, they're going to bring all of those thought errors with them to the new opportunity. There are no geographical solutions. And shortly, the drug of new is going to wear off because they're going to be back in the same spot soon enough, wondering how this happened to them again and how they're here again and how they're feeling this way again. It's like moving to a new house and bringing all your dust bunnies and creepy crawlies with you. You don't do that. You sweep out the foundation, you clear the foundation, you reset your mind, you reset your thoughts. clean up your thinking first. So when we think about how we change mindset, we really have to examine our thoughts. We question everything we're thinking. We see what our thoughts are creating in our lives, and we see if we like the results. And then we get to choose our thoughts, keep our thoughts that are working, or choose to change our thoughts that aren't. So let's say you're considering applying for an internal promotion. You've consistently proven your ability to make an impact. You've built strong relationships internally, and you enjoy finding creative solutions to your clients' challenges. So you may have thoughts like, I can totally do this. I'd be excellent at it. No one else is even qualified. This is the next step. But because of evolutionary biology, stay with me, folks, your brain likes to keep you safe. So it may send up other thoughts like, but what if I apply and I don't get it? That'll be totally humiliating. And what if they're already in the process with another candidate? Or what if there's an external candidate? Then you might start to rationalize by saying, but they have to reward me for my tenure and loyalty, don't they? Should I start advocating internally? And then further, you may go into thoughts like, wait, but is that weird if I start advocating? Who do I speak to first? I don't want my peers to know, because if I don't get the job, then everyone will know. So you're in this thought era of just believing everything you're saying. And all of these thoughts are creating various feelings in your body, which based on this are probably a level of stress, anxiety, maybe a little fear, maybe a lack of self-confidence. And, all of this happens because we're normal and our brains sometimes can be total jerks to us. And we've been thinking some of the same thoughts over and over again because our brains have been left unsupervised. And again, totally normal. You're sitting between two normal thought patterns. But you have to practice what it is that you want your brain to think. So your first thought, in summation, is something like, okay, I'll go for it and I'll get it. And your second thought is, I won't get it, everyone will know, and I'll be humiliated. So it's not going to work. If that's what you're stuck between, it's not going to work to practice a thought like, I'm going to get my job, this is the next gig, I can totally see it, like almost like psyching yourself up for it. That's not going to work because you don't believe it. Well, at least you don't believe it yet. So you want to be in a place of belief that when you are approaching an interview or an internal conversation, you're coming of a place of clarity and knowing, not convincing energy. Because everyone can smell convincing energy. And we've all been that person. And we all probably know that person. And I know that I've been that person at some point in my life. And convincing puts this spotlight on our lack of confidence. So be gentle with yourself, but gradually work on building up your belief. So I would recommend that you work on more neutral thoughts, like start with some of the facts, like there's an opportunity at work. I have the qualifications for this role. It's possible that I can get this opportunity. This is a way of neutralizing your thoughts, and it's so much more effective because little by little, our brain gets to be comfortable with the concept of it's possible. And then when the brain is calm, it can think better. It can think strategically. When the brain is stressed, we might feel a tightening in our shoulders or dry mouth or a pit of dread in our stomach. Stress shows up differently in different bodies, but we're not going to be able to think clearly if we feel the sensation of stress in our body and we're trying to be in the solution. That's called fight or flight, folks. You have to be in one or the other. The brain can't do both. It's a level of cognitive dissonance that it's like, So I recommend that you drop into the body and just feel the sensations for a minute or two, right? Give your body a little attention, watch the feeling morph and move around. Eventually it'll dissipate. All that's happening are, neurochemicals are floating from your brain, hormones into your body, and is creating a normal biological response. But when we continue to practice neutral or a possibility thought, the emotional or the primitive part of your brain can chill out a bit. And then like that, the thinking part of your brain can then start to take over and get into solution. If you keep practicing over time, you'll be able to get into solutions much faster, and you'll be able to think strategically about how you want to approach a situation. And in this case, like how do you want to approach an internal opportunity? But it's really going step by step and to inch along with the beliefs that you want to create. When we become aware of our own thought patterns and we're open to changing the ones that don't serve us, we're in an amazing place to reset our mindset and create our future. I am continually inspired by the moment when people realize that everything they do is driven by their thinking, and your thoughts drive your feelings, your actions, and your results. So to recap, watch your internal self-talk. It doesn't matter what your talk is or what your thought is. When you practice it, you believe it. 2, when in doubt, neutralize your thoughts. Get them to a place of neutrality and a place of possibility. I find that writing them out on a piece of paper can be really helpful when you're trying to neutralize them. 3, practice. Practice neutrality. Practice thoughts that are in this place of a neutral possibility. This will allow your brain to find solutions in a much more relaxed state. And when you practice the thought enough, it becomes a belief. And no, seriously, you have to practice multiple times a day until your new thought is easy and effortless. And when you're in a place that's much more balanced, one of confidence and clarity, the 4th step is then you're taking actions from those thoughts. The key to all of this is allowing yourself to imagine that when you believe the thought, you visualize yourself doing it and having it, being in the job, being in the role. And then when you continue to practice believing it from a place of possibility, then it's only a matter of time before it becomes a reality. That's what I have for you today, my friends. I'll see you soon. Hey, thanks for listening to the Career Refresh podcast. If you're enjoying this and you want more information, go to my website, jillgriffincoaching.com. There you can find information on how to work with me one-on-one or my group programs, or even bring me into your workplace. I'll put the link to my website in the show notes. But hey, listen, before you go, do me a favor, rate and review this podcast, because it definitely helps me get the word out to people everywhere so that they can also thrive in the workplace. All right, friends, I appreciate you. I'll see you soon.